here. I'm gonna try something different this time around, and I'm gonna play a little ambient music on my other phone. See if that kind of helps with the mood a little bit. But yeah, no one tuning in yet. But really, I'm making this video more or less for myself to kind of document the state of my garden right now. We're heading into spring, early March, well, mid-March, I guess. I think it's the 13th. And yeah, we're getting some things starting to green up. I did a lot of cutting back and stuff. So yeah, like I said, just kind of sharing with you guys what did and didn't make it, documenting kind of. So we'll start in the front yard. And if you guys, if I can get to questions and stuff, feel free to put in any input. But yeah, we'll start in the front yard here. And a lot of all the stuff, whether it was in a greenhouse or the house, with temperatures plummeting, most of it made it. Like Orinoco bananas had potted up as backup. They're leafing out and stuff, so that's good. I have an avocado seedling that may come back from the roots, but I don't really care for it. I grow a bunch of those. Mainly to see which I can make cold hardy, which do the best. I've got still green on some of these jujube grafts I did and stuff, so that's good. Big plus, it took a while, but bananas are starting to come back. These are Orinoco. You can see the little shoots here. And what I found was I was trying to cut them kind of higher to see if I could retain the hearts. If you guys don't know, the banana flowers are somewhere in the stalk once they're close to fruiting. And yeah, if they get damaged or whatever and you cut them back, they're gonna die and they won't grow back. But the ones that are a little younger, they're coming back. My native lilac is starting to push buds. I expected that. Kale held on, a couple kales here. Carrots are coming back. I planted a lot of annuals, replanted like broccoli and stuff while we can still do it. I just replanted this Satsuma that I had inside. It's doing well. I literally did this little bed yesterday. Put some strawberries in here, put some tomatoes in here that barely held on with the plummeting temperatures, and some zucchini. And I did cut down, it was a type of hibiscus, Turk's cap. I cut it down to the ground. We'll see if it comes back. Elderberries, putting out leaves, it's good. Roses are fine. Pomegranate, we're starting to get a little bit of green on there, so it did fine. Multi-grafted mulberry is coming back. I expected that it'd be okay. I had a lime seedling. I'm still doing bark checks. Yeah, there's still a little green closer to the bottom of it, so that might come back. This is just a, whatchamacallit. Sorry guys, I'm kind of juggling things here. But this is a quince, flowering out nicely. Rosemary kind of coming back here, half coming back. I don't really care that much for it. I had some moringas that I cut all the way back, and they might shoot up. You can see there's green there. They might shoot back up, but I do have some on standby that I just planted, some seedlings. Bush cherry, looking good, putting out flowers. Goji berry, unfazed by 12-degree temperatures. Cinnamon tree, unfortunately, hacked all the way back. I probably didn't have to. Once I was harvesting it, I saw that maybe it might be okay, but there was like bark slippage here and there, and sometimes you really just want to start fresh, and this grows back fairly quickly. Cactus all the way to the ground. Falsa or sherbet berry all the way to the ground. They should come back okay. I at a mandarin here that I've since cut back. We're getting a little rain, guys, so bear with me. I since cut back, but you can see most of this is gonna kind of share with you guys and gauge what you should hang on to and whatnot. This is actually starting to leaf out. It's awesome. But you do see damage here, and I'm gonna hold off on pruning. I did like the dead tips where it was like really brown, but I'm just gonna hold off. Some of it might still die back a little. When you see that growth though, that's a great sign. So the trunk here is probably fine. We have taro popping back up. That's a good sign. All the Mexican sunflower is toast to the ground. Hopefully those come back. That'll be nice. Although they're easy to propagate if I can get a hold of some. Some asparagus popping up here. Strawberries, I covered them with cardboard just for the fruit and the flowers, but they're all cool. They're fruiting and stuff. My multi-grafted stone fruit is leafing out. We have a few blossoms here and there, so that's cool. The only thing is this snow peach was fairly young and it already came out of dormancy before the freeze, so I lost a lot of it. Maybe some of it I can hang on to, but I have a whole snow peach out back. That's fine. It's just when things are little like this, once we're further into the spring, I'll prune off all the dead stuff. Hibiscus to the ground. It should come back. I haven't pruned this yet, but this dragon fruit's done. But I did take really healthy cuttings and put them aside, and they're fine. They're in the greenhouse. Bamboos are cool. We'll go up back. My friend dropped off a bunch of mulch, so that's part of what I'll be doing. I basically chopped and dropped and mulched all the Mexican sunflower and stuff, and made mulch out of the bananas and everything that was dead. Actually just used my lawnmower. So, but I have a lot of additional mulch to kind of start fresh in the spring here. So we'll make our way out back. Got caught up on something. Keep the ambient music going. And so we're getting to the back here. I don't know what my goat's problem, Fudge, is. He's been loud all day. My little Pisang Kalang banana. Barely holding on, but I see some green in the center there. So hopefully that makes it through. I tried to clear out as much potential rot as I could. A lot of this stuff I had inside, the agave. I left the yucca outside. We'll see if it comes back. And this pomegranate should be fine. And that's just a type of prickly pear that I had inside. It's fine. Same over here. The Peruvian cactus was inside down to 30 degrees and it's doing fine. Blueberries are all popping off right now. And so most of my moringa that are a little thicker in diameter, you can see like the top here is not looking great. That'll probably die. And even the bottom of this one's not. Yeah, see, that's kind of like rot there. And that's just gonna happen. So I'll give it a little more time and probably replant the ones that I have to. Let's see over here. Same with these Orinoco bananas. They're coming back, the younger ones. So that's a good sign. I have a volunteer mulberry over here. I may as well just keep it for now, rather than pull it out. Replanted a lot of my annuals. I have some katuk here. Still has green on the bottom. I think that was one that was in the greenhouse. Got a little too cold, but I just went ahead and stuck the cutting back in the ground and it's doing all right. I had a key lime and a Meyer lemon. I don't even know if they're grafted, but it's almost a lost cause for them. They were so young and I didn't cover them that well or anything, but that's okay. My white sapote is down to the ground, but I have scratched some bark and there's green towards the roots and they grow fairly quickly. If not, I have seedlings from the fruit that I grew. So they grow pretty quick, especially if you have them in full sun. So we'll see what happens there. Fire bush down to the ground, but I've heard these come back. That's pretty nasty there. But underneath here, there's lots of roots for potential for it to come back. Mexican sunflower, same thing. These date palm seedlings, yeah, when you pull them out and the heart is dead like that, the plant itself is dead, but there is potential for it to make pups. They're still green down here. So this plant itself will not leaf out anymore. It's done, but it could still give me some pups, which would be cool. Some more annuals planted, tomatoes, eggplant. A lot of my mulberries are leafing out. I think this is everbearing, lots of fruit on it. If I get too much rain here, I'll have to call it quits, guys. But onward we go. That's another date palm. I also had an avocado seedling, so I don't have to worry about rootstock, but that could be coming back. Jackfruit, it got attacked all through here, but you can see it's a seedling as well. But you can see right below where all the rot is and stuff, this is still intact, so it could give it a shoot and come back. Let me see. So my ice cream banana is putting off shoots. Awesome. And my Namwa bananas are coming back too. All right, we're back. Just had to pick up closer to the Wi-Fi. This moringa, you're gonna see like some of the bark is damaged and stuff, and that's what I mean about hacking things back regardless. But down to about here, there's still a lot of green to work with. So we'll see about that. Che tree, I just saw that it's starting to push out. Planted a lot of little annuals in here. This pomegranate coming back. Let me see. Oh, so Barbados cherry all the way to the ground. I might have to replace it, I'm not sure. I've done some bark scratches on the roots and it doesn't look great on the surface, but potentially further down it might be okay. Same thing with the curry, not great. This is basically an avocado rootstock. It's down to about right under the soil. It's still alive, so that could come back and I could graft onto that. Let me see. Multi-grafted apple. I've since kind of sprawled everything out. So taking advantage of the fact that there's nothing growing here now, and so maybe I'll get some nice apples this year. Guava, unfazed. I only had a bag over it. This was Cherry de Rio Grande. I haven't checked it in a bit, but it's pretty toasted. Might have to replace that. That was a fairly new transplant. Papayas I've cut all the way to the ground. They have potential to come back. Starfruit or carambola. I haven't dug deeper in to see if I could find green, but it looks a little grim. But I have some seedlings I can replace that with. But I'm gonna give it some time to see if it makes shoots, because I heard they do. This was my Mexicola. It's done. Ironically, the top of it still had some life in it, but the rootstock actually went before the Mexicola, which if it had a decent rootstock, it probably would have made it. But I did take cuttings and put them in the ground to see if they'll propagate. We'll see. Just to have something to graft with, a Mexicola variety, that'd be cool. Let's see. Persimmon. I believe this is Fuyu. It's branching out, it's nice. Black Zapote. There's a little green on the very bottom, so we'll see. I believe that's egg fruit. Still has a little green on the bottom. My sour sop and my sweet sop, they are done. they're toast. And I also have peanut butter fruit, and some of the roots are still very, very vibrant. So I'm gonna hold off on cutting this back, see if we get some shoots. Figs are unscathed, they're cool, they're leafing out. Let me see. This bed I just put some peppers and stuff in, pretty much all new stuff. This was a Georgia collard that's coming back, but I've since, I put some collards in there anyway because I love those. Pear tree is unfazed. Let me show you that tropic snow peach. So it was already pushing growth before the freeze, so that's why we have some dead limbs here. But we actually still got some late blossoms, still have some now, and we actually got some fruit set too already. So I'll at least have a couple of fruit on this, and it's not dead, that's cool. But it is a little bit damaged. I saw some sap oozing here and there, but I think once it makes its comeback, it should be okay. Still got some game grass there, not a big deal. This lime I planted from seed, from a tree in Atascocita, and then planted that tree in my dad's yard, then air layered it. It's still got lots of life in it. A little dieback on the top here, but the trunk is awesome. So that's great. I have a cold hardy lime that made it down to 12 degrees. That's crazy. Ruby guava. It had a lot of potential bark damage, so I just cut it way back. There were some soft spots and stuff, and I didn't want to deal with a later disease, so I cut it all the way back. But there's lots of green under here, and it's got a lot of vigor. But I might just have it as a bush. All right, sorry about that, guys. Let me see what else we have. I think that's a majority of it. Like I said, the figs are fine. Let's see, these were more Namwa, and they're putting off shoots. This papaya, I could probably cut way back, but you don't necessarily have to. It'll just kind of dry out, and where it wants to grow, it'll grow. But I do have to watch some of this mulch contact with potential rot. I've been trying to be conscious of that. I did a lot of that with the bananas. And, my jujube, the Lie jujube, is starting to leaf out and break out of dormancy, which is pretty cool. So let me flip the camera around here. Yeah, guys, basically, I did this for myself too, to kind of give myself a look of how far I'll potentially bounce back, when I look back at this in a year. But also to share with you guys, how you can bounce back. And I expected more viewers and comments. Maybe it's just the time of day and stuff. But I did want to share with you guys, kind of how to check for damage, how to prune, what to do. And my basic thing with that is if it's dead, like completely brown, you can trim it back. At this point, it's pretty obvious to see where you can cut losses. Although limes and stuff a lot of citrus tend to show their damage a little later. But if you're unsure, you can hold off on any kind of pruning if you want, and then see where shoots come up. And if you can decipher where grafts are, rootstocks and stuff, if you're only getting shoots below the rootstock, you do a scratch test above it. Getting a phone call that's interrupting the live session. I'll have to hit ignore, like I'll do right now. Okay, so yeah, like I said, if you have a rootstock, it's shooting, and above it, you do a bark test and it's brown. That means you're only getting rootstock back. You may have to graft onto it or replace it. But yeah, that bark test, you just do a bark scratch and you see if you have green there still. And if you want, you can start from the limbs and keep cutting back until you start seeing green. But yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily yank stuff out of the ground, because I've had a lot of things come back from the roots. And if you don't mind either the rootstock or that they're seedlings, that's why I plant a lot of seedlings. And when they do bounce back, they usually bounce back with a lot more vigor, and they're more equipped for, you know, cold hits like this. So I'm gonna wrap things up, guys. I just wanted to do a quick update I had a few questions and stuff about people asking what made it and what didn't. I'm sure you guys on your own personal notes probably can assess your own damage by now too, but I just wanted to kind of share this and get some input out there. So that's gonna do it for today. If no one has any questions or anything, I'm gonna wrap things up. But as always, thanks for tuning in. Until next time.